Hey y'all, this is Richie Allen. I wanted to fulfill my promise to give you a few reasons why I'm not going to be trying, I'm not going to be doing Body by V, at least not now. Body by V or the HGH diet or anything like that. Uh, I've done a little bit of studying up on it, and it's just for me, um, it's not the right thing. For some people, it might be, but number one, I've been a yo-yo dieter all my life. I've tried every fad diet that's come out. I've done South Beach. I've done um, Atkins. I've done oh my lord, what's the other one that starts with an S? Um, oh man, if I named them all, it would blow your mind, I'm sure. But I have dieted, lost weight and gained it back, lost weight and gained it back. With Atkins, I actually lost over 100 pounds in a period of 5 months. I mean, it was dropping off of me, um, but I gained it all back. I went down to 200 pounds. I gained it all back and then 75 more. At the top of my weight, uh, I was 370, almost 378 pounds. And so I noticed that has really been a problem for me because mainly I was looking for shortcuts, and shortcuts are not going to do it, at least not for me. And I didn't want to exercise. Exercise was always a problem for me. I don't like to sweat, and so it was just always a problem. So I never exercised with any of these things, and it didn't work. It wasn't for me. It wasn't training my body and training my mind to to be disciplined across the board. And part of the reason that Body by V uh, disturbs me on just on a personal level, it may be right for you, but it disturbs me because um, number one, it's shake based. At least the challenge is, from what I understand. The first two meals or 2 meals a day are meal replacement shakes, and while the shakes are supposed to be filled with healthy things, um, that's not sustainable on a long term basis. I can see you doing it for 90 days. I can see you doing it for a year if you really are disciplined, but that's not teaching your body to eat 3 to 5 healthy meals a day and eat cleanly. And that's really where I want to go. I'm more concerned about my cardiovascular health than anything else because I come from a long line of people that are. Let me turn this off. There we go. I come from a long line of men that have had heart disease. My dad died at 50, 51. His dad died at 50, and from heart disease. And so I don't want to do anything that will be detrimental to my heart at any point in the future. So shortcuts aren't going to do it. I've got to exercise. I've got to do cardiovascular. That is a given. That's not going to change. I need to do strength training to strengthen my muscles as well. And then I just need to eat clean. That's what has to happen for me. A few of the other reasons why Body by V is not going to work for me. Uh, Number one, it's soy based. Well, that's number two, then, isn't it? It's soy based, and there's a lot of controversy as to whether or not soy is a good thing or a bad thing. Anything that is not in moderation is a bad thing. I don't care what it is. It can be Weight Watchers shakes. It can be Weight Watchers food. It can be soy. It can be anything that's even healthy for you. Eat too much of it, it's going to become detrimental to you. And soy has a lot of weird qualities that some people are starting to see is not actually all that healthy for you. Number one, it's full of phytoestrogens, and I've been reading up a little bit about this. Phytoestrogens are plant-based estrogens, hormones, and uh, I've heard of a lot of people, and there are independent studies that corroborate all this, but there's a lot of people that are told that they don't need to partake of soy at all if they have cancer. Women with breast cancer and that sort of thing, they are told not to drink soy at all because it's full of phytoestrogens, and that is also, my doctor told me that when we were trying to get, when Heaven and I were trying to get pregnant, he told me that that soy products are can cause low sperm count and cause even temporary infertility in a man. And again, that's because it's an estrogen is what it is. And as an overweight man, I already have too much estrogen in my body because that's what fat produces. It produces estrogen. It helps to produce estrogen. And I have too much of that in my body already. And to add that on top of what's already in my body is just unhealthy, and it's going to cause, could have caused part of the reason why we were having trouble with getting pregnant. I stopped doing soy, and I went to almond milk and coconut milk. I got rid of the soy in my diet, and a year or two later, we have twins. I'm not saying that that's the only reason. In fact, I know that's not the only reason, but that could have contributed to it. So that's an issue for me, the phytoestrogens. Another one is that it's goitrogenic, which is thyroid suppressing. Soy is, and I already have enough problems with my thyroid as it is. I don't want to deal with that in the future, and so I'm going to try to wrap this up quicker. It's already 7 minutes into this, sorry. But a few other things, there's phytates, a lot of phytates, it's full of phytates in soy, so that blocks mineral absorption in the body and makes it more difficult to absorb minerals, and in particular iodine. And soy, good soy has to be fermented to be digestible to the human body. Unfermented soy products are not humanly digestible. And I know a lot of people talk about Asians having a lot of soy in their diet, but on average, Asians only eat 2 teaspoons a day of soy, and it's highly fermented soy, miso and all these other things that they partake of. So that's not really a good enough argument for me about phytates not being an issue. And then there are also the other thing about the Body by V shakes in particular that bother me is artificial sweeteners. There is sucralose, which is Splenda, in the shakes, the shake mix, and sucralose is not a good product. Any artificial sweeteners are bad, in my opinion. I've read a lot about them as well, and while sucralose is supposed to be good for diabetics and that sort of thing, it is chemically altered. It says it tastes like sugar because it comes from sugar, but it's chemically altered. Anything chemically altered like that is ultimately not going to be good for you. And I'm not going to go into the studies that I've read, but there are studies for that says that. So anything with artificial sweeteners is out for me. I don't eat any artificial sweeteners. I will only have I'll have stevia, which is a natural sweetener, or regular pure sugars, but mostly fruit-based sugars. So that's what I'm doing. It's working for me. It's not working fast like everybody says that Body by V and all these other things do, but fast isn't always best, and that's the way I feel about it. And then the last thing that I have a problem with, and please, no offense to those of you who are involved in Body by V in the business aspect, but I loathe MLM. I loathe multi-level marketing. I have done that so many times from my teenage years up into my mid-20s. I have been a part of just about every multi-level marketing that has come across, and good ones and bad ones, but I am not a salesman like that, number one. I don't want involved in that. I don't want to get into it because eventually somebody's going to lose. I know. I've been a part of all of them. And eventually somebody down in your downline is going to lose. They're not going to get everything you want. Now, I have read that as far as MLM businesses are concerned, Vitalis, or whatever the name of the company is that makes Body by V, this is actually one of the better MLM businesses as far as their payout and all of that sort of thing. It's good. It's got some good points to it, but I am not an MLM fan. I don't want to buy. I don't want to sell. I want to get healthy. And so that's the reasons why I do not want to get involved in Body by V. There are other diets that are kind of fad diets that are going on right now, but I think for me, and you should really consider this too, for you, if you need to lose weight, why not just do it the healthy way? Don't take shortcuts. Let's do this right. Exercise. Watch your intake of food, because calories in, the more calories in, the more that you have to burn in order to get the weight loss. That, just leave it at that, and let's go from there. Let's quit trying to complicate it with all these other little shortcuts. Put 1,500 calories in, burn 500 calories in a workout, then you've had an effective calorie intake of 1,000 for that day. Anything 1,200 or over is great food-wise, and then you just knock it down with your exercise routine, and enough of those 1,000, 1,200 calories after exercise days, and you're going to lose weight. That's just, it's the math. It happens. And so anyway, there's my 11-minute and 38-second reasoning for not wanting to try Body by V. So thank you to all of you who have asked me to join Body by V. I appreciate it, but I'm really not interested right now, and I don't be offended by that. Nothing wrong with it. If it works for you, awesome, and stick with it and see if it'll stay. But for me, this is what I'm trying, and so far it's working. It's steady, and I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to quit taking shortcuts. So thank you very much.